welcome to episode 73 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and I am your host. It is 10 past 10 at night. I cannot believe how late it is and I am still starting this, but it has been weeks, and not because I wanted it to be weeks, but just because things have been a bit hectic. Between a lot of us in our house, people have been poorly. My husband put his back out. Everyone's been here, there and everywhere, and I have been trying my best to work and hold down the fort and just carry on. So yeah, things fell, and then I kept meaning to do a podcast and not doing a podcast, and then it got so long since I'd done a podcast that I kept worrying about how much I would have to talk about on the podcast and how long is this podcast going to be and how many times can I say podcast. Anyway, if you're new, this is normal. I am usually quite frazzled. If you're not new, hi! My name is Laura. I am a knitter, yarn dyer. I make hand balm. I have a husband, 2 kids and an old cat, and we all live here. Not here specifically. This is the garage room where I work. Tried to call it the studio. Thought that would be really cool. Nope, everyone in my family calls it the garage room. I live in the most easterly town in England, in the UK, and yeah, this is where I come to chat about my yarny life. So, a little bit of admin to begin with, then we'll go into the knitting. I have lost some of my whips, I have lost some of my finished objects. I've just gathered together whatever I could find for this one and thought I'll catch up next time, because if I don't get in now, I don't know how long I will let myself put it off for. Then after we have done that, I will give you a little life stuff, and then just in case you're interested, my life is not that interesting. And at the end, I have some things that I have popped into my shop recently, and I'm going to show you some exciting new things. You can find below my any little details about this episode, and any links, and a link to my website if you are interested in looking at any of the things that I make or sell. And yeah, let's crack on, shall we? Tiniest bit of admin. First of all, last episode I was giving away 300 grams of fingering weight this zebra yarn from Dyed by Brambles and Me in the Northern Skies colourway, and here it is. And before I came on here, I did a random number generator of the comments below the last episode, and my winner was Nicola Jamson. Nicola, you win! I hope that you will see this. I think I know I have your details otherwise, but through other things, but I'm hoping you'll see this and find out that you won from here. This is yours. So I hopefully will have another giveaway coming up soon. I have a pattern from a lovely friend that has been donated, and I thought I might put some other little goodies together to go with that. Not this episode, maybe next episode we'll have that one. So I'm going to crack into finished objects. The first finished object, first I am going to mention the fact that I'm wearing a TARDIS dress. I mentioned in previous episodes, I think, maybe, can't really remember, that I had found a dress company and they had some really cool print dresses, and well, now I have one with tie-dye on it. Can you say tie-dye? I feel like TARDIS is wrong. I am sure tie-dye is not right. But I like the sound of that word. I'm going a little nutty. It's quite late. So the first whip that I wanted to show you was my Slipstravaganza. It is finished, I promise. If you go on my Instagram, I am at The Lonely Knitter on Instagram, then you can see me there holding it up. Do I know where I put it? No, I don't. When I came out here, I was really sure that it was in this room somewhere. Now I'm really sure it's not. Can't find it anywhere. Really have gone through this room, so I didn't want to go back in the house and really go through the house. Chances are it might be in Ellie's room. She is my 4-year-old daughter, and she loves everything I knit or crochet. So yeah, it could well be like in her bed. So I will try and find that for next episode. After that, I needed a little palette cleanser, a little teeny tiny project, something that I could whiz through and have done really quickly. And it was this. I used some of the leftovers from my slip extravaganza for this. I made my slip extravaganza in singles, my singles yarn that I dye and sell. Oh, and this is the petrichor colourway. And there was enough left over to make this little newborn size of the little nut brown hair pattern. It's got my hair, no, yeah, there's my hair in it too. And it is a lovely cabled hat, and it's by Pink Hair Girl Knits, but I think she might go as her actual name now, and she is a Sally. I think Sally Jane Knits. If you look up Pink Hair Girl Knits, she will come up. But it is the cutest, sweetest pattern, and I think I might make one bigger for my little boy. But yeah, the little nut brown hair in petrichor. So that I finished. I have another little finished object. This one I actually only finished very recently, a couple of days ago. This is my little dragon. He is an amigurumi. Have I said that right? Probably not. I showed you a book that I bought. I can't remember if it was last episode or the one before, and I haven't brought it out to the garage with me because it is gone 10 o'clock at night and I'm so tired. But it's unicorns and dragons, and can't remember. In my Instagram post with him on it, I think I mentioned the book on there, but if you go back you'll be able to see it, and I'll put it below. So yeah, this little guy, and I posted on Instagram saying I don't know what to call him, and there has been many suggestions as to what this little guy should be called, and one of them, from my lovely friend Georgie, was Sir Puffs-a-Lot. And even though so many other people have commented on my post with the cutest, sweetest little names, I feel like Sir Puffs-a-Lot is like the coolest name ever. But I made him because my lovely friends in my Dungeons and Dragons Zoom group, so we play Dungeons and Dragons like weekly. We are a knitting lot and we knit and play Dungeons and Dragons. Some of the other members had made dragons, and I wanted to make a dragon. So I made a dragon. So this one's mine, and Ellie has tried to take it multiple times, as has Alf. Should I say him? Let's call him him. And I'm all about the no, because this is mine. Sometimes something has to be mine. So puffs a lot. So those are the only two finished objects that I have to show you. But I do have some, just to get comfortable, I'm leaning against a tin, some half-finished objects. I can't remember if this was finished last time, and it's too late for me to be going back and checking right now because I can't. But if it wasn't, it is now. I know it was finished not that long ago because I needed the needle out of it to knit a different sock. So if I didn't finish this, if this was done on the needles last time, the first one is done. Didn't cast on the second one, nope. I needed the needle so that I could cast on my first ever Rose City roller. Is that what it is, the Rose City roller, this one? The one that's not a free pattern. It's by Mara Catherine Briner. I haven't woven my ends in. Awful, I know. And here we go. So ends akimbo. I have one. My big size 7 clomper, and then yeah, I love it. This is my hand dyed yarn again. This is something I dyed up to actually knit these with. It's just a very pink, I don't know what to call it. I want to call it something like wham. And then this really looks grey because of the pink, but it's actually a really light sort of lilac-y, like it has a purple to it actually, but you can't really tell. And I knit one of those, and then as soon as I cast it off, I took the needle and cast on for I'm taking part in the SCR1 TNO Stripy Socks knit along that is running throughout this year. My lovely friend Sharon, SCR1 TNO Knitting Project Podcast. If you've not heard of her, she is lovely, lovely, lovely. And she is running a stripy sock knit along, and each month she has dyers that you can get extra entries for. So you just knit a pair of stripy socks, that's an entry, and you can do it whenever you want. Whips are allowed. But if you in that month, if you knit with her dyers that are for that month, you can have an extra entry. So the dyer for March, or one of them, because there's multiple indie and commercial dyers for most months. One of the indie dyers for last month was Desert Vista Dye Works, and I had a skein of Desert Vista Dye Works in my stash. I bought this from someone in the UK who was destashing it on Ravelry for not, I'm hitting myself in the face with a sock blocker, for not very much money. This is Here Comes the Zombride, and I loved it when I saw it. I was like, I need that. And I bought it off her, and obviously didn't have to pay crazy shipping or customs because it came from inside the UK, and I just teamed it up with a random mini that was on my shelf. 3 days before the end of the month, I remembered that I hadn't knit my stripy socks for the month, grabbed that needle when I finished that shorty sock, cast on this, but they were 3 very busy days and I didn't have time to knit very much. So I knit one sock and then was like, this ain't happening, and gave up. So I need to finish that one as well. So that is three half objects, 3 half pairs of socks that need to be completed. I'm looking around for my whips, so let's crack on to whips because it is late and I do want to try and get through. This is in a project bag that has many other things because a lot of my project bags double as handbags. So this project bag also has inside it 2 nappies, a packet of wipes, a bar of chocolate, some fruit gums, my phone, a scratch card that's got 3 quid on it. Everything's in this bag. And here is the sock I'm working on this second because, oh no, when I finished the 3rd half pair of socks, I didn't think, let's go back and actually finish one of these pairs. No, because that would have been normal and the right thing to do. Instead, I thought, I haven't knit my socks, my striping club month socks yet. I need to do that. Let's cast them on. So I'm past the heel. And I think I am still working on the gusset decreases. Yeah, I am. I'm still working on the gusset decreases. So we are starting to go down the foot. This is my yarns. This is Bumbling Yarns, my yarn, and I am running a self-striping sock club throughout this year, and it is all of the entries for this year, all the colourways for this year for the club are 1 stripe natural and 1 stripe of something else. And this is installment 2, and there is going to be 6 installments throughout the year. So the first one is available just January and February. This one is available throughout March and April, and then we'll be moving on to the next colourway. And this one kind of reminds me of Kingfishers. It's got teals and blues and sort of gold and orange, and yes, so I have decided this one I'm not going to use the contrasting mini skein because I had sent mine to a friend and then not left one for myself, and I was already at the heel and I was like, do I want to dye one and wait for it to dry, or do I just want to knit this heel? I just want to knit this heel. So yeah, I am on my way to having 4 half pairs of socks. Yeah, and this is it, and this is how they come. These ones, they come in a gobstopper ball. Takes me a little bit longer, but it's worth it. So that's that one. I have more whips. Oh, so you may remember I bought this book a while ago. I am knitting the, where are you? The Sprout sweater. And I bought this book from Georgie of the Fibre Fox, and she is running a little knit along between a group of us. Where we're knitting. We all bought the book and we're knitting along. And I have just separated for the sleeves. Right, just keep an eye out, folks. You've got little ones in the room. I have some stash enhancement. Probably haven't got it all here to show you because in a muddle. But one of those stash enhancement things is stitch markers from Yarnistry with swear words on. So if you have small children in the room, you may wish to pause right now and carry on when they can't see the swears. So here we go. You know, you might not be able to see the swears at all, but I just don't want to upset anyone. So I finished the colourwork portion of the top. It's all crinkled because obviously when I block it, it will flatten out. I don't think my tension is that bad on colourwork. It just obviously does become neater when you lay it out. So better grow a bit as well. I actually haven't done it with the ease that it says in the pattern because I don't want it. This is a crop sweater. I'm going to wear it over dresses. Hopefully it will grow. The neckband is definitely quite stretchy, and it is a folded over brim, which I do love because it's really, really squishy. And yet I have pulled my stitches off the needle. Come on, mate. What's going on here? There we are. Just gather them back up. So yeah, if you want to see my floats, love a float. Yeah, I've literally just separated underneath the sleeves for that one. And that, I might as well show you this bit now, is a little bit of a stash enhancement. This is my own yarn, so it's not, I didn't buy it from anyone, but obviously still cost me money. But this is what I'm using. This is a very pale pink and this lovely purple, and still not 100% sure what I'm calling these colourways. I like Blossom for this one because they did have a Blossom colourway over here somewhere that was way pinker. Actually, it's over there, but I'm not 100%. And then this one. So these are all 50-gram skeins that I had and wasn't dyeing up super quickly, so I thought I will donate them to myself for this project. So it's a fingering weight sweater. So, and I might do a short-sleeved version as well, so it'll take even less yarn than others. But yeah, I keep losing my yarn because Ellie likes to squish it, so I just keep randomly finding skeins around the house. Is that everything that I brought out to show you? I think it is, whips wise, because I have lost a few whips in the house. They're in the house. I know they're in there. I'll be able to, I'm just moving myself around, kicking the tripod. Really kicking the tripod, sorry. Yeah, there's a few more whips in the house, but I did not grab them all because I am not organised. And this would go on forever and ever if I actually had got everything together and been organised. But if I try and podcast again, because what we're on Wednesday, if I try and podcast again, not this weekend because that's a bit too soon, but the next weekend, then hopefully I will still have quite a bit to show you because I'll bring the things that I forgot this week. Anyway, on to stash enhancement, other stash enhancement. First I have these. Beautifulness. Now this, I did not pay for. I'm like, what? They're beautiful and amazing. My lovely friend Helen of Giddy Yarns dyed these, and she was like, she was having a bad week, and she said these just were giving her the bad vibes, along with a load of others. She was disaster yarn, and yeah, this is what she sent me. I was very blessed to have such a lovely friend. Thank you so much. I don't know what's going on with the sing-songs. At the moment, we've started singing quite a lot of our words in the house. We're singing a lot of rhymes for spelling, and Ellie's doing a lot of phonics, and we are singing a lot of letters, and it seems to have translated into every other corner of my life. It doesn't matter that I am a grown 30-year-old woman who knows how to read. It seems that I want to now sing every other sentence. I apologise. I appreciate it's probably very annoying, and it will probably stop soon once my child has learnt to read herself. But yeah, these came into my stash. Okay, why? Why do we have to be a weirdo? Why? Anyway, something else came. I won this. Barely ever win. Well, I say I barely ever win anything, but since I've joined the knitting community and joined in with lots of things, I seem to have won the odd thing here and there, and I feel very lucky. So shut up, Laura. You do win stuff. But I won this. How gorgeous is this lovely project bag on Sharon's podcast, and I actually won this in the stripy sock knit along group. when I posted my socks. And yeah, it's got this lovely fabric on the inside. It's just a nice, easy little drawstring sock sack. It's lovely and squishy, so I can just squish it down into whatever bag I am carrying. It's got a pocket on the inside, and it doesn't have a label on, but I think it came from New Zealand, from one of Sharon's podcast supporters. So thank you so much, Sharon. I won this. And then Sharon is my yarn mum. We are not related in any way, but I have been adopted. I am her. I've not really been adopted. I have a real mother of my own, but Sharon is my yarn mum and I am her yarn daughter, and I very much appreciate that. Anyway, she sent me some little, I say little, they're not little, left the note in the house, but she was like, these are some leftovers, my left tit, these are massive, but some bits and bobs that are left over from her. And this one is a gorgeous self-striping, look at that, it's sparkly, sparkle yarn. Can you see the sparkle? It's hard, sometimes a bit hard to show up on camera. So that one, so there should be enough there for some shorties. I'll just add an extra for heels, toes and cuffs, and that should be half an entry, because 2 pairs of shorties for 1 entry into her knit along, but half an entry on that. And then the remainder of a sock blank from Hedgerow Yarns, which again should probably be enough for shorties. It's so pretty. Look at that. It's very pretty. I'm going to put it back in its ball band because otherwise I will lose it, and I have a memory like a sieve and I will just forget it. Other things. Right, I think this was right after I last recorded. I received this. It is from Yarnistry. I ordered one of the goodie bags that she'd put up, and they were like £15, and you got a tote bag, some stitch markers and some other little bits. So I've got a bird and blend tea. I don't really drink tea, but I really want to like it, so I'm going to try that one. And these were not the stitch markers that I got in there, because I made another order with Yarnistry afterwards. Oh, I got a little 10-gram dye candy. Let's take that out. It's 10 grams of dye candy sock yarn, which will definitely make its way into one of my scrappy blankets. It is glorious. Let's tuck that in there. And the stitch markers that I actually got with this goodie bag, to be honest, could be anywhere. I chose to have the swears option. They're not in the bottom of this bag. All that's in the bottom of this bag is one of Ellie's bracelets, a Sharpie and 4 Maltesers. So yeah, I'm not sure what I've done with them. They're somewhere in the house, but I did get some more Yarnistry stitch markers. Just going to make sure there's no swears on here. I'll just keep that one covered up. I keep choosing the swears option, and so I now have loads of rude words, of all of which I'm aware that I will have to hide as soon as Ellie is fully there with her reading. Sucks to be me. But if that's the most of my problems, then really I'm a lucky lady. But I just chose, if you go onto the Yarnistry website, they have she has some wonderful like random options, and so for I think it was £8 I got 17 stitch markers. I think it only actually said 16 in the listing, but I definitely had 17, and you can choose swears or no swears, so you don't have to have swears, but they all come on. You get to choose your fixing as well. So I like these lever back clasps because I find them good to be, they either do the job of a ring stitch marker, you can put them straight onto your needle, or you can put them like a progress keeper, lobster claw style, into your work. But this is the random pack that I got for £8, I think it was. £6, £8, something like that. I've taken the swears out already, so there were a few extra in here, but it came with like a little, my nails are awful, I've been dying today, a little like science beaker, a little googly eye, a little clear sheep, a little bow tie, there's loads of little bits, a little robot, a star, a yarn ball, just yeah, loads of little lovely stitch markers. So I'm now swimming in Yarnistry stitch markers. I want more. I will lose them. I lose everything. Little like that, that's easy to lose. But yeah, there's loads more around my house, but I just can't seem to put my hands on them because I've already lost them. I also had a little order come from Hannah of the Corner of Craft. I wanted her Crit and Knit pin. It is a Dungeons and Dragons themed Critical Role idea. Like, well, it's not Critical Role, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's a dice, because obviously I'm in a Dungeons and Dragons group and lots of the other members of my group had this pin, and I was like, I want the pin. So this is from the Corner of Craft, the lovely Hannah, if you fancy one too, if you're a dork like me. I think that is everything that I brought with me. I think it is. Yes. I have got one other thing to show you. That is a swap that I did with my lovely friends in one of my online knit groups. But not everyone in the group has received those yet, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone, so I'll do that later. I am going to move on to life stuff. What's happened? Ellie's had a couple of trips to the hospital for her allergy clinic. So if you're new here, my little girl has a peanut allergy, and she is part of a clinical trial where she gets a little dose of like a peanut medication every single day to build up her resistance to her peanut allergy, and hopefully by the end of the trial she will be able to eat multiple peanuts with no reaction. However, as it is a trial, we do not know right now if she is on a placebo medication or if she is actually on the stuff. So we have to wait until the end of pretty much a year to find out. And then she's unblinded, and if it's real, then great. And if it's not real, then we start right from the beginning on the real stuff. So we've had a few more of those appointments because they've started up again after everything was closed. The UK is starting to open up a little bit. We can now meet outside with a few other people to go for a walk, or in your garden you can meet sort of up to 6 people, which is amazing. Nice to go for a walk with some friends, especially Ellie with her little friends. Alfie is walking quite a lot in the house, not outside of the house, but he's really getting there with his walking. He is 1 and a bit, so, well, coming up for 1.5. So yeah, he's getting, or he's 1.5 now, almost, I don't know, about that. Yeah, he's really coming on with his walking. Talking is definitely a little behind where Ellie was, but a lot of people say to me that girls are quicker than boys with the talking at the beginning. It really weirded me out, because it's like, why? But no one could answer me that question. Chris has put his back out for the last week or so. He has been in agony and not able to really walk. So I am like trying to be a one-woman show, running the place around here. It's hard. I'm back to my cleaning, so on 1 day a week when I don't have my children, I help out at cleaning some family members' houses. So I have been doing that, which I know they very much appreciate, and it's been lovely to be able to see them. You can work in other people's homes if that is something that you do, like especially if you're like caring or, you know, like helping. Yeah. I like if they're vulnerable people, which they would count. Nothing much. Oh, advents. I put a little video up, the last video that went up on my channel before this one, about my advent calendars. I'm going with a nerdy theme, like all the nerdy, like Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who. Like if it's nerd, Stranger Things, like things are just going to keep popping out. If it's nerdy, I'm doing that this December. It's not really Christmas themed, it's just nerd themed. If you'd like to join me, then check out the video if you would like to. The sign-ups are still open. I did sell out, so originally I put up 20 slots. I sold out of those. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even think I would sell 10. You have made my day, because this is my full-time job, my only income, so I really appreciate it. And I haven't really had a chance to really get into dyeing this year, anything other than clubs that I do. So, you know, I do, you know, I just haven't been, because of childcare and everything with the lockdowns and the kids not going to school, I have really struggled to do as much as I wanted to do. So this has been lovely to be able to have something that I now am working on in the background, rather than lots of random shop updates, which I will be doing, but to have that in the background and to know that people still trust that I will produce something they will like, which is amazing for me, and I can't believe it. So yeah, I didn't think I'd sell 10. I sold the 20 that I'd put up. I then said I was going to put a further 10 up, see if they go. Again, didn't even think that they would. They did, and I said that my last call would be the last 5, because I didn't really want to sell more than 35, and 2 of those have gone already. So yeah, I had a little cry this afternoon, like a right odd un. But it's a bit overwhelming for me as someone who suffers with anxiety, who never really believes in themselves, wouldn't ever really put big numbers out because I have to know that I can do the thing before I could offer the thing. It was a big deal, and I'm very grateful, so thank you a lot. Anyway, I think that's everything really that I've been going through, having happened the last week or so. So the last thing that I wanted to show you was shop update. I have popped a bunch of things in the shop just before recording this episode, so they're probably still there if you're just watching this. And I'm also one of those things is the Crown last month's Scrappy Club. I have a spare of those, so I'm just going to grab mine because I'm going to show you that now, and then I'll go through the other things that I've got. So hang on. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've dyed these now, but and posted them out and everything. But if you ordered the Crown Scrappy Club for March and you haven't received yours yet, you should have. I think everyone should have, unless just post is very slow. You may want to look away now. I have this pack spare that is now up in the shop. It comes with a Crown stitch marker and all of the colourways. All of the colourways are individually labelled with their names, and I'm just going to go through my set. I always keep myself a 5-gram set that I'm going to put into my scrappy blanket, and I'll start. Do I want to start with her? Let me just start at one end of the pack. Didn't want to start with Camilla. Okay, so this one is to love, to cherish, to obey, which in the Crown, this is a quote from the Crown, where the Queen put to obey into her wedding vows, and it is just sort of, it goes from, if you can tell, we go from light pink to light purple, and it was sort of reminding me of the wedding day with that one, the wedding day scene. Next we have the ears. I think when you talk about the ears, you all know I'm saying Prince Charles, right? So yeah, okay, that's the ears. Next we go on to Cookie. Cookie, which is obviously the nickname for the Queen Mother that was given to her by Edward. Brain's gone. Next we have Always a Scandal. And hey, royal family, there is always a little bit of a scandal, isn't there? And that's got like flecks and speckles in it. Next, here we go, Camila Shand. I wanted this one to incorporate a bit of the colours from the ears and the blue blood sort of idea, and then a little bit of the scandal in there too. Then we are on to Margaret Rose. Originally I wanted this to say, what was it? Margaret Rose. It was the quote about how she wanted, she would have been the better queen, or so she thought, and it was meant to be dyed for her dress when she went to America. And then we have Nothing Changes in Court, and that was actually one I wanted the quote, Nothing Changes in the Court of St. James, but I went with Nothing Changes in Court. And then A Mad Tree. That's what Diana referred to herself as, a mad tree, when she was dressed up when she first met Prince Charles in the show, obviously. The People's Princess. So this one I really wanted to be a much more, so this is the People's Princess and it is greens and yellows, and I really wanted it to be a much more watered down version of a Mad Tree, and a much softer version and a sort of, you know, faded away as well sort of version. And then last but not least we have Shirley Temple, which again was the nickname given to the Queen when she was younger, so by the one who abdicated. So yeah, I only have one of those 120-gram sets left. It's one in the shop, it's up there now if you fancy that. And then I don't write these colourways down, none of these will be back. It is sort of last chance saloon on those ones that go in my mini blanket. And then I also have one, a lovely one of my customers had missed out on the Buffy month and asked for me to do her a 10-gram mini set, 10 grams, and I did 2. So this one is the spare. They are, lots of them are one of a kinds. A few of them are from other colourways. So yeah, this is, as a set, is the one of a kind set. Well, 2 of a kind, but one has already gone. There is only one of these left. It comes with a little star stitch marker, and yeah, so if you fancy 10-gram minis, want them for your scrappy club, they don't have any names, they are literally just a little sample of some of my dyeing adventures, if you fancy it. That one's in the shop now as well. Next thing to show you that is in the shop, I have a couple of new colourways. I was going to keep these for a while. I thought, no, just put them up. This one is, these are Peter Pan themed because we've been watching an awful lot of Peter Pan. Ellie is currently in love with it. So this is Mermaid Lagoon. Here we go. And I have Mermaid Lagoon with a little bit of fluff on it. I have Mermaid Lagoon on a few bases. There isn't an awful lot of it, but I can dye more. So I have one skein of soft socks. So this is one of my old sock bases, one that I'm not getting anymore, but it's not the sturdier one. This is really soft, really luxurious feeling, but it is still a sock yarn. And I have one skein of singles as well. I love singles for shawls. I would happily knit myself a singles sweater. Don't care if it would bubble, I would just love it anyway. It would be so soft. And then I have 2 skeins of my old DK base. Now I have switched now to a DK base that I find a little bit softer, not to say that this is not soft, but a little bit more cushy, and I'm using up the last few skeins of these, so it is at a discounted price. They won't be the full £18 a skein for these. These are a little cheap. I think they're 15. I want to say I put them at 15 instead, so they're knocked down a little. There's 2 of those in the DK. And yeah, that is Mermaid Lagoon. And then we have Last Night in the Nursery. And I've pinched one of these for myself already. I have one in DK that I am knitting Ellie a hat out of. She absolutely adores this colourway, and it has speckles in there, and it's the lightest sort of grey purple. That's the singles. Oh, I love singles. I love singles. So there is 1 skein of singles and 2 skeins of DK going up in the shop. And again, this is my older DK, so that is going to also be at, or is already at, a slightly discounted price. But yeah, that is Last Night in the Nursery. So that's everything I have for yarn, but I have something else to show you, and this isn't something that I was expecting to do, and they sort of came at me quite quickly, and I've decided to put them in the shop, see if anyone loves them and wants to take them. I will never have these again, and when they're gone, and there won't be any more. So I'm just going to show you what I've got. I've kept a couple for myself because I know I will use them, and I hope that you like them too. So, bags. I'm putting a little bit of fluff on everything, but I have a few crossbody bags, and I'm using one of these myself as a project bag. It is a really nice large bag. It's bigger than my head. And it has a pocket, 2 pockets in fact, on the front, one inside the other. It has 2 handles like this, and 1 large crossbody strap, which is comfy on me and I'm a big lady. And then it has a zip closure, and then inside there is a couple more pockets. So I have this one in forest wine, I think this one was wine, and I also have one in grey, and these are the only 3 I have, and I won't be getting any more. So if you fancy them, those are all up. They are $16.50 I think they're up for each. So if you fancy one of those, there is some of them. And then this type of bag, which is one that I've been using as my little handbag, which has genuinely got chocolate, wet wipes, nappies, fruit gums in it. It has a box bottom, and I really like this style bag. And I'll just quickly show you through what I have. I have a couple. So the other one I only had one of each one in there. Again with the fluff. Where did that come from? This is my forest colour, and yeah, they have a boxed bottom. They have a crossbody strap. They have 2 little handles. They close with a magnetic closure. There are no pockets on the inside, but it is quite a nice little roomy bag. And then it has 1 pocket on the front. You could definitely fit a medium-sized project in here. And I have a couple of them in forest, and then I have a couple of them in sunshine yellow, and I love them. And then I have one in brick. And the reason I only have one in brick is because I'm keeping one in brick. So yeah, this one in brick. And then last but definitely not least, I have some totes. So I've kept a couple of these for myself. So this one is the one that my Sprout jumper is living in, and they're laundry bags. Is how they've got a little tag on the front that says, "You need this one, take care of laundry," which I actually think is really cute, and I don't mind at all. And I'm not sure that anyone would ever look because it's quite small, but if you really wanted to, you could cover it with a patch, and it would make quite a good bag to have patches on, because other than that it's completely plain. But this is just a tote bag with 2 nice long handles, so it's good for over the shoulder. They're not too small, and then it closes with a magnetic closure in the center, but it also has a popper, like a little snap on each side, so you can make it a little less wide, and I also think that's quite good for snapping clothes and having yarn coming out here if you wanted to keep multicolour project yarns separate. And then inside it has 2 little pockets. So yeah, I have these ones, and I have these in, I have 2 of them in, yeah, 2 in blush, 2 in forest, 2 in chestnut, and that's what I've also kept one in. I have 2 in chestnut and 2 in mustard. So if you fancy, these are just £12.50 each for the tote bags and the box bottom bags. If you fancy them, they're there. There really isn't many. They're not the sort of thing that I want to regularly have or ever have again. In terms of, like, I don't really have any of the history of where they came from. You know, I bought them from someone else to put them up because I did think they would be useful, but in the long term they're probably not the sort of thing that I'm going to have. They are the sort of thing I will use. I have kept 3. I've kept 1 of each style for myself, and I will use them until they absolutely fall apart. But yeah, I won't have them again in the shop. This is a one-time sort of thing if you fancy one, and there's quite a few once you go through. 2 of each of those ones, 1 of each of those ones, you know, it's like 12 bags there. So if anybody fancies them, they're not massively expensive, and yeah, they're just there. if you fancy it. Can you tell I am not a bag saleswoman? Oof. I'm not a very good saleswoman, full stop, I don't think. Anyway, I need to go to bed. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? It's 5 to 11, which actually isn't that bad considering I started after 10. But I did forget most of my bits and bobs that I wanted to show you, mainly the slip extravaganza. I need to go to bed, otherwise there's no way I'm getting up with my 4-year-old and 1-year-old and being actually present in the morning. But if you fancy any of those goodies, they're in the shop. If you got all the way through this entire podcast, well done you. I'm not sure I could have sat through me for that long. But thank you so much for joining me. Oh, I forgot to bring I've got a blanket and everything that I've been working on, and it went through a milestone checkpoint, and with this one where I do a bit a day, again, SCL1 TNO. Oh, it really has all gone wrong. I'll show you it next time. I can't believe I'm going to put this rambling on YouTube. But I'm gonna. Anyway, I've got to go to bed. This is getting worse and worse. I really do need to go to bed. I'll speak to you all later. Hopefully not too long. I am hoping to get back on a weekly schedule. I like a weekly schedule, but I keep saying I'm going to get back on a weekly schedule and then not getting back on a weekly schedule, so I need to pull my finger out and do it. Anyway, I'm going to bed. Night. Thank you so much, as always, for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.